Good day, everybody. It's been a few days since our last video and reset of a bunch of, I reset my red wigglers last time. Or not my red wigglers, my ENCs. So we're going to do a check on them today and see how everybody's doing. So I've got worms up top. So they're not ran away. So I had a feed zone down here. Yep. In the feed zone, the feed's still there. Little piece of pumpkin. Just want to keep my feed zone active in my breeder bin. I don't have to overfeed it much. As I've mentioned in previous videos, ENCs are more than happy to work with coffee grounds and newspaper and the such, but the food concentrates them in one spot so they can get together and be a breeder bin, right? So that's what we want. So today's Tuesday, I believe, March 26th or 7th. March 26th. Just had to look at my camera. Tuesday, March 26th, and this bin has been kind of gone through a reset. This is my brooder bin and ENC bin, I guess, but it's a brooder bin. So you can see there's worms up top. That's not a bad thing. That means they're comfortable with the moisture. A lot of juveniles up here. Okay. So the last time I was in here, we sifted these throughout the last 3 weeks, and we've done a complete reset on here now. So here, let's go like this and bring you in, show you what I'm looking at. There's a toddler worm type, big toddler worm. There's a juvenile. That guy there's a full-grown adult. These ones are full-grown adults. So the last time I was in here, there's a juvenile right here. Last time I was in here, I simply just put the food in, put the coffee in, put the new bedding in, and we put these coffee ground papers, filter papers in here. And I said then that little worms really like coffee filters. And they do. The small worms really like the paper and the coffee filters. The big ones do too. But you see a lot of small worms on the coffee filters. And this is an active bin. But you see there's lots of small worms. And then just lots of worms. And this is, you know, they're happy. They're up on top. They're doing their thing. We're going to check and see how much food they've got left. And I believe the food was right here. Moisture's good in here. not a lot of food in there. I'm going to give them a little bit of pumpkin because I still have pumpkin. I found some more pumpkin in my freezer, so we're going to give them pumpkin. And we're not going to, I just wanted to do a check basically to see how they're doing since the reset. And they're doing very well. I'm just going to do this, throw a little bit of more paper, dry paper bedding in here. Just pumpkin has a lot of moisture in it. So anytime that we add something that has like food that has a lot of moisture in it, we should probably be doing something like this just to counterbalance it a little bit. You do not have to overdo it, but if you to me, a bin feels just right. So adding a little bit of pumpkin, I just add a little bit of paper. Maybe the next time it'll all be good and we won't do anything. So this paper's nice and damp. There's a toddler worm right there. I said it before in some of my previous videos on YouTube. If you're on your phone, you can zoom in on any of my stuff. You have the capabilities to zoom right in and zoom out as you please. Alright, red wiggler time. So this is my breeder bin. So we're 2 weeks into this reset on this breeder bin, and they're quite happy. And as, I'm not sure if you can tell or not, but these guys are a little bit bigger in size. There's still food in there, so I'm not feeding them. Just going to leave them alone because that's what we do with breeder bins. If they're happy and we know it, leave them be. Okay, this one here should be one of our resets from last week. And I just want to check and see how they're doing. There's a potato and they're in it. A lot of worms in it. That's my feed zone. So just the potato left in there. I don't see any of the other food left that I put in there. I know I had put in others. So again, we're going to give them some pumpkin. And this is a pretty active bin, so we can put some food in here. The reason that potato's not completely gone is it takes a little while for them to get into a potato. And again, a little bedding. Cover up that potato better. So I do have pre-started bedding in my bucket there. There's a lot of little worms on this plastic. They like the plastic. They're playing with that moisture. Guys, Cocoons, and Babies from January 7th. So this is basically coming out of the siftings of my, and this is a reset. I do believe this was reset a couple of weeks ago. I've got a potato in here and lots of worms at it. That's next to the potato. So that's in my feed zone. My feed zone is very active. We're going to give them some pumpkin. And then we're going to cover it back up. Moisture feels good. In fact, down below it feels downright muddy. So lots of moisture. Just give everything a nice little fluff. So they have really concentrated into that feed zone right now because there's not a lot of worms in the back here. That's all right. They'll find their way around. So this reset's looking good. Alright. This should be the worm bin that I was putting all of my overs in as I was doing my wipeouts after my sifting, and my fat worms. So there's one of my fat worms. There's a red wiggler. And I'm absolutely positive that we are going to get down and find some decent, yep, there's getting to be more of a decent worm population in here. I don't know what kind of worm that is, but they're big. Like, we put a lot of small worms in this bin. We're going to give them some food. Potatoes. And I'll close them up. So I'm also, you see some dog hair, pet hair and stuff in here as I sweep up after the dog and cats. I'm throwing it in. Along with a couple Kleenexes. Worms will use everything. So there's another person on YouTube that's using wool. I don't have wool, but I'll try dog hair. It's a little dry. I'm just gonna give them a little water, I guess. So anybody has been following me along, that water goes through what I call a Brita filter, and then it's been sitting overnight at least, because it's water that I take with me to drink at night. So, shouldn't be any chlorine in it. Okay, this is a reset last week. Moisture feels good. I'm seeing worms. Actually, we can add some moisture in here. they've got a potato. They got 2 potatoes. And they're by the potatoes, so they're going to be working on it. Like I said, it takes a little while for them to get in. I'm going to add some moisture. And there is a decent population in this bin. Yeah, that'll make it better. Maybe one piece of pumpkin down there. Just pumpkin is a fast food for worms, so if they're having a hard time getting into the potatoes, which I don't think they're having a hard time, it just takes time. I always like to check my plastics to see if there's baby worms up here in the condensate on the plastic, and there's not a bunch on this one. Okay. We're going to go like this, just to give it another layer of possibly protecting it. And this is my breeder bin. These guys should be doing, a little moisture feels really good in here. Getting to be some small worms in here, which is, of course, in a breeder bin, that's what you want. There's definitely worms in here. Not a great big abundance yet, but the small ones you will barely see. We're going to put the onion food back in there, and we're going to give them a chunk of pumpkin. And some mushroom and some potato. And I'm finding that a little dry. Hopefully that helps them out. Alright, so trying not to take forever to do this on you guys. We're up to the guys. We reset on the guys last week. And I just want to check on them and make sure they're doing okay. Which I'm sure they are. So we figured it out that there was approximately 2 pounds of worms in here. We've got some worms on that bag. Oops. Okay, that's why I put down a spreadsheet. We've got lots of cocoons on this plastic. Paper back here is dry at the back, wet when it comes to here, so good, because that absorbs any extra moisture in the bin. And these guys are really, this is all the castings and stuff that they bring up. Let's have a look. Gonna just give a, oh yeah. Yes, they're doing good. They're dispersed. They're not all balled up. It's wet down there. In fact, to the point that it's probably muddy. So we're gonna fluff everybody up. Can't remember what I put in here for food, but that was it. And they were at it. There's an onion. Everybody says don't use onion. It's okay, as long as you don't just use onion. There's a wad of paper, and the worms are really in it. They're really in it for the coffee and the paper that was in it. So we're going to come back here a ways, because the only food I see was that onion, and that's okay. We're going to give these guys a pretty good feeding. They're well dispersed. Potato. All right. So, if you like what we're doing, share, like, subscribe. Hit the notification button if you want to be notified when we do videos, put new videos up. And comment. I love the comments. Comments are a lot of fun. We get to talk to people from all over the world. And it's pretty interesting. Very interesting. So we keep the plastic on these guys pretty good. The moisture is really good in there, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay, and hope y'all enjoy the video, and I'm glad you're coming for the ride and coming along and the journey. Always more fun with friends. That's it for March 26th, 2024. Have a great day.